Senator, you talk about Americans not wanting the government to collect all kinds of data, especially phone data. There seems to be a divide in your party on this issue in particular. Christie, who is likely running for president in 2016, said on Monday, you can't enjoy your civil liberties if you're in a coffin. What do you say to that line of criticism?
Look, none of us wants to be in that position, but it is a false choice. It is an absolute false choice to say that you either have to reauthorize, to extend the Patriot Act authority as is without modification, without protections for the American people, or we're all going to die. That is a disingenuous comment, and I think he should retract that statement. Look, we have carefully balanced this legislation. Senator Leahy and I come from opposite ends of the political spectrum, but we agree on this issue. The chairman and ranking members of the House Intelligence Committee and the House Judiciary Committee agree, as does the President and the Director of National Intelligence. And as I explained in a book that I just came out with a few weeks ago called Our Lost Constitution, this is an issue that dates back hundreds of years in many respects. In some ways it involves new technology, but in other ways it dates back hundreds of years. As I explained in my book, one of the principles that the Founding Fathers agreed upon was that the government shouldn't be engaged in the use of general warrants, just going out and saying, send us all your information in case we might want to search it later for some kind of investigation. That's wrong. The American people don't like that. This bill would fix that.
Let me ask you a question. There's been a lot of debate about Edward Snowden. In many ways, the reason we know about this program is because of him. Christie has maligned him. He says he has been dangerous to our democracy. Do you think that this effort, that in the information from the decision by the New York Federal Circuit Court, do you think that vindicates Edward Snowden?
I don't think anything that the Second Circuit concluded vindicates anyone else in breaking the law. But I will say that I agree with what the Second Circuit concluded, and I agreed with its reasoning in saying that you can't take the reasonableness standard found in Section 215 of the Patriot Act, which authorizes the NSA to collect data that is related to, that's relevant to an investigation in this area, and say that that justifies the NSA in collecting all telephone data from every telephone provider in the country. It simply does not follow, and the Second Circuit was right.
You mentioned that you thought Christie should retract what he said about you can't enjoy your liberties if you're in a coffin. Are you disappointed with the statements thus far from the majority of Republican candidates in the 2016 field on the issue of surveillance in particular?
I disagree with some of them. I don't know where they all stand, to be honest. But I will say there are some with whom I disagree. But I particularly disagree with what Mr. Christie has said. I think it's simply wrong. It's unnecessarily inflammatory to say you've got to choose between either reauthorizing this law, which is controversial, which offends a lot of people's sense of the law, sense of the Constitution, and sense of what the government ought to be doing. You've got to choose between that or death. That's wrong, as a matter of fact, and I think it's imprecise, and I think it's demeaning of the political process in which we ought to have an open, honest discussion based on facts rather than emotion.
Senator, I think there are a lot of people that are happy that an open debate is happening on the floor of Congress. Senator Mike Lee, thanks for your time.
Thank you.